Hello, I am Mani Malarvanan. In this video, we will look into Web3 analytics beyond the hype. We will look into how to get the blockchain data and perform analysis for marketing agencies. And also, we can also look into what are all the different tools that are available in the Web3 world and compare it with the Web2 analytical tools and identify why the Web 2 tools cannot work in the Web 3 world. So we will also compare what are all the difference between the Web 2 tools and Web 3 tools from the marketing agencies point of view, so that in the Web 3 world, marketing agencies can use whatever tools they need to be successful. So what is Web3? In my previous videos, there are quite a few definitions we mentioned. It's basically in the Web3, your data is stored in the public ledger, public blockchain. The blockchain could be Solana blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, or whatever may be the blockchain. So your data is not owned by a centralized company like Meta or Google or Microsoft. So all the data is available for anybody to retrieve it and perform analysis. So that's the main difference between the Web 2 and Web 3. And since the data is available publicly for anybody, and also the blockchain transactions are all pseudo-anonymous, basically there is a public address that is associated with a particular user, particular customer. Those users, whenever they purchase a NFT token or whenever they perform any transaction on a blockchain, those get stored. Just by retrieving the blockchain data, you cannot identify who the physical person performed the transaction. For that, you need to have a user consent and get the data and then interconnect those two to identify who performed. But if you have any Web3 tools, blockchain tools, you can able to go and retrieve the data. For example, if you want to learn about Ethereum blockchain, then there is a Etherscans tool is there. You can just go and identify what are all the different tokens are available, top selling tokens, and then you can click it and view what are all the different transactions that happened on a particular day. So there are various metrics that are available within the blockchain that we need to understand first, so that we can make sense out of the data. And the limitations of the traditional analysis. In the traditional analytics, you can identify different metrics like how many users visited your website and how long they stayed in your website and what exactly they did on your website. All those informations you can collect, and there are Google Analytics and various other tools are available for you to collect the data. But those tools stops there. And also, if you use Google Analytics, your data is stored by Google. And once you have your website information stored, it's not, you don't own the data. So they own the data, and you can use the tools to identify how many users visited your page and what are all the different pages they visited. All those informations you can able to see in the web too, but that's all, it stops there. You cannot identify what happened in the blockchain. So for that, you need the Web3 tools. And also there is a cookie dependency. Yes, there are many features that Google is removing it. One of the policies is not to store cookies, but still you send the data from your website visits, and Google will capture in their internal systems, so that they will use the data to create various graphs for you. So, and also another issue in the web 2 world is, uh, if you go to any website, they can, without your knowledge, without your consent, they can use cookies to track your page activities. So even though there is a European rules and the US rules are all available not to do it, there are still companies are doing those type of activities. And the context that they provide with those Web2 data is very limited, and that stops there within your particular website. And another issue with that is once they get the data, they can do whatever they want to do with the data without your consent. Even though the big companies are all following international laws, there are still a lot of marketing agencies. They are tracking users visit from one website to another website so that they can able to send particular banner advertisements when you visit those pages. But in the Web3 world, we will see it's all those are all not possible. One of the main components of the on-chain data is that your data is stored, as I explained earlier, data is stored in the public database, public ledger. So anybody can access it. No one owns your data. It is owned by a particular blockchain. Within that blockchain, if you have a tool, you can access it. And if you want to download all the data, you can download all those data. Since it is a public, anyone can access it, but that's not the case in the Web2 world. The companies, those who collect your data, they own it. They can do whatever they want to do. So these two are the main differences. From those main differences, we will see what are all the different points that we can able to identify between on-chain data versus off-chain data. On-chain data here is the data that is available in the blockchain, and then the off-chain is the data that are available outside of the blockchain. The source, the blockchain data stored within the blockchain. It could be either Ethereum, Solana, or Binance, whatever may be the blockchain. And then in the off-chain world, it's a centralized platforms. For example, a social. If you take any of the social media like X or uh, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, any of those social media platforms, each individual company own your data. They own how many different followers you have, what are all the different comments you posted on the social media platform. All those informations, they own it. And if you don't like it, probably you can delete the data, but you cannot get the data and go from one social media to another social media. Say, for example, if you don't like X and you want to move with all your followers, all your comments, and all your posts to a different platform, you can't do it. But in the Web2 world, it is possible to do it. And the transparency, the fully transparent in the on-chain data, it's fully transparent and immutable. Once the data is committed, nobody can change it. It is there as long as that blockchain exists. So nobody can change, nobody can modify it. They can able to read it, but nobody can modify it. But in the option world, the individual companies, those who own, generally they don't modify, but there is a possibility that they could modify it. That happened in multiple different social media platforms. If they want a particular user ID, and if they don't have it, they can take your user ID and they can give you a different user ID. All those are all possible, but that's not possible in the blockchain world. The primary metrics in the on-chain world is on-chain, meaning Web3 is the transactions, number of transactions that happen in a blockchain, token transfers, the smart contract events. In If you are not familiar with these terms, please go and see other videos in this channel. There are multiple different videos I have posted that talks about blockchain transactions, what is the token transfer, the smart contract, and all those. So all those data points are all critical in the on-chain. And then in the off-chain, the page views, the user sessions, you can identify which geography the user came from, how many of them came from a particular continent, particular city, and how much time they spent on your web page, and what are all the different web pages they scrolled. All those informations you can able to identify in the off-chain world. All those data are important, but in the Web3, that's not the only data you need. You also need the Web3 data that you collect from the blockchain to create a successful marketing campaign. Verification, easily verifiable via blockchain explorers. As I said earlier, the blockchain data, once it is committed, nobody can change it. You can able to get the data and identify what are all the transactions, what are all the things that happened within that blockchain on any particular day. But in the off-chain world, it may not be easy because you need a third-party verification tools to identify the data. And also, if anybody is anonymously browsing the website, then those data, you can collect the data, but it's not easy to identify who the user is. And user privacy, that's very critical. In the Web3 world, on-chain, it's all pseudonymous, meaning you use a wallet, and using that wallet, you can have your tokens or money available, and using that, you can perform transactions on a blockchain. Once the transaction happens, that blockchain wouldn't know your actual username, your location, any of those informations. That's a public address. That public address is unique to yourself, and using that, you can able to perform the transactions, and those informations will be stored in the blockchain. But in the Web2 world, you need to have a user ID and password. So there could be identifier information. So once you register, they will ask to any social media platforms or any of the Gmail or any of the online platforms in the Web2 world. They'll ask you your user ID. They'll ask you to enter the password and also your phone number, cell phone number, so that they can verify you and they can target. They can send advertisement targeting based on your profile. But in the Web3 world, that's not possible. And considerations in the Web3 analytics, the user anonymity we already discussed, and no one can know who the actual user is. Only if you give a particular company that they can able to use your data, then they can able to get the data and connect the public address that are available in the blockchain with the user information so that they can able to identify who the user is. And the data ownership, nobody owns. So the blockchain company, there is no blockchain company per se. Ethereum is managed by the group of people and it is a public by design. Anybody can download and collect all the data. So nobody owns it, but that's not possible if you use any of the social media platforms or Gmail, any of the Web2 centralized databases. Encryption and security, all the data in the blockchain, those are all secured. And also using that data, there are technologies that are coming up without showing your identity, your physical location, they can able to identify who the user is. For example, if the application needs to know your age, whether you are 18 years old or less than 18 years old, they don't need to know your date of birth. They don't need to know your address, your name, anything like that. So there are technologies that are coming up in the Web3 world using the zero knowledge proofs, ZKPs. Using that, they know that you are 18 years old or you are not 18 years old. But in the Web2 world, that's not possible. They have to collect all the information so that they can able to identify. So even though the Web3 data is are all in public, there are regulatory compliance we need to make sure that we are following. That is a GDPR, CCPA is very popular regulatory compliance. We need to make sure that we follow when we get the data and manipulate the data for our analysis. So even in the Web3 world, we have to do that. In the Web2 world also, the big companies are started doing it, but it is possible to violate those laws by marketing companies or other companies. Web3 analytics stack. Let's go through very simple Web3 analytics stack. The first thing is the bottommost layer is the data collection layer. From on-chain data you collect, and then from off-chain data you collect. Off-chain meaning from using the Web2 tools. You need to collect those two data, and then you need to process those data either through data warehouse or various other ETL processing or various other technologies. And you have to combine those two data, clean the data, and store it in a particular database. And then in the second step, in the third step from the bottom, you use various analytical tools and libraries to create dashboards. And then the final one is using the dashboards. You can create actionable insights. What you need to do. Say you are starting a marketing campaign for a Web3 marketing company for initial coin launch. For that, if you want to understand how well your campaign is going, say your campaign is for 15 days, you need to make sure that you have tools and technologies that are available to track the campaign performance every day, every minute. If you post a social media posting and you want to know how many users are all seeing that posting and how well they are responding to it, whether they are responding positive response, negative response, neutral response, all those you need to identify within an hour or 2 3 hours of the posting, so that you can able to adjust your marketing campaign as it progresses. And then from every day to a next day, every week to next week, you should be able to measure the performance and adjust the campaign for maximum benefit for your Web3 customers. And actionable insights from the Web3 data. So it's very critical. Once you collect the data, once you combine the Web2 data and Web3 data to create various graphs, that's only the one step. But what exactly you can do with the data? So that's a critical point. There are various artificial intelligence tools are available that will read those data, and it will help you to create a actionable plan, a daily plan or a weekly plan for you to implement it. For example, the user engagement. You want to see how many daily active users are visiting your page, how many users are clicking the buy button to purchase the NFT token, so that they can able to buy a NFT token or use your blockchain platform to send money to their friends and relatives or receive money from their friends and relatives. So all those things you need user engagement, and then the transaction volume, and also you can help your customers what are the best time to perform the transaction. For example, in the blockchain, the technology is maturing. The transaction cost might be high based on the time of the transaction. By analyzing the transaction data, and you can able to give valuable input to your customers so that they will pay less money for the transaction, either purchasing the NFT token or sending money from their wallet to some of their friends and family's wallet. And also, if all the Web3 companies, they will have a smart contract application deployed on the blockchain, and you want to understand the performance of the smart contract application, like how many calls that are happening, how many data it is generating, all those informations are all available in blockchain. You can able to get it and identify if there is any potential issues in the blockchain application that needs to be fixed. And another important point is the tokenomics. In the token economics, you need to identify how well your token is performing, whether the number of users, those who own the token, as a very less number of people, they are owning large number of tokens, or your token is distributed across a wide number of peoples, so that will give you if one set of users is having all the tokens, and they may dump and get away from the tokens, that you don't want to do it. We discussed about the tokenomics in multiple different videos in this channel. If you need more insight about tokenomics, please do visit those YouTube videos, and you can able to understand more about it. So the token economics is a very critical parameter metric. Then the Web3 tools needs to use it to make sense for their Web3 marketing agencies, so that they can able to adjust their campaign accordingly. And another important point we mentioned is integrating Web 2 and Web 3, like user identification, cross environment funnels, unified reporting. All those are all important points. If you just have a blockchain data, you cannot make sense out of it. Yes, you can able to identify number of transactions, number of tokens that happened, transaction fee that are going up or down within a particular period. All those informations you can able to identify, but you need to you also know how well your website or your mobile application is performing, how many users are visiting, which geography they are coming from, and how long they stayed. All those, say if you have 1,000 users visited for your marketing campaign, only 10 users purchased the NFT token. You want to identify what happened to the remaining users, what happened to the remaining visitors, why did they dropped up, where they dropped up, and then you can able to adjust your marketing campaign to fix the issue. And, and another important point in the Web3 analytics is there are multiple points you need to consider. The enhanced decentralized data aggregation. So there are multiple technologies are coming in the future that will help you to collect the data, and you can able to analyze the data so that for your marketing agencies, you can create successful marketing campaigns. See, one of the thing is in the Web3 world, all your data is available in the blockchain, but there is no single point that you can able to collect. Yes, you can go to one particular blockchain and you can able to collect the data, and you need to make sure that when you are collecting getting the data, the platform need to support the data are all securely stored. There are billions and billions of transaction that already happened for the past 10 12 years in the blockchain. So there's a huge amount of data, and you don't want all the data. You want the data for your customers only. So for that, you need to identify the smart contract application, public address, and then go and identify all the data, save it in your platform so that you can able to perform analysis. And during the collection, there is a zero knowledge proof we discussed. We can use the data to identify the users without even knowing who the users are. Say, for example, you collected the blockchain data from Ethereum blockchain without even knowing the user for a particular smart contract application. You can able to identify how many users are all interacting with that on a particular day, how many transactions that happened. All those informations you can able to identify is. And also, as I explained earlier, artificial intelligence and machine learning are all playing a very crucial role in the blockchain Web3 analytics. So using those tools can can help you to create a actionable plan, everyday actionable plan, or every hour actionable plan for you to perform so that your marketing campaigns will be successful for your customers. And also the crunch cross chain analytics, that's also getting popular, and you need to have the tools that helps this. The cross chain meaning there are multiple blockchains are available, and as a user they can interact with multiple different blockchains, and each blockchain will have a different public address. So you need to identify the tools users collect those data from multiple different blockchains, combine it, and then perform the analytics. For that, the platform needs to support the cross-chain data analytics. And within our analytic kit, we have a platform. That platform right now works with the only Web 2 and also Web 3. Within the Web 3, it works with Ethereum blockchain. So we collect data from those Ethereum blockchain, and also you can use our Web2 tools to create various dashboards, graphs, to perform the analysis. We are working on integrating with the AI technologies, but that's not available for public customers now. If you need more information about our analytical Web 2 and Web 3 analytical tools, please visit our website analytic.com. And if you want to access our platform, you can go to dpa.analytic.com and start exploring, register, and then start using our tools right away. And you can see yourself what are all the different graphs and dashboards it produces for the marketing agencies. If you have any questions or concerns, please let us know about our platform. We will be happy to help you. And that's all I want to discuss in this video. Please help us to grow this channel by subscribing it and liking it, these videos. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Bye.